Charleston White can say some things that'll make you think he's very intelligent. And then he'll say something that makes you look at him like he's crazy. He went on a recent interview where he talked about the killing of Austin Metcalf by Karmelo Anthony. And what he said was mind-boggling. Let's get to it.
Austin Metcalf, you see the boy in Frisco stabbed to death by Karmelo Anthony?
Yeah. My heart goes out to the family. They trying to make this a race issue, and this is a right or wrong issue.
Okay. So no, real quick, I like where you're going on this because I'm not even trying to race bait or anything. People are making this about black and white. You see that they're trying to make this kind of like a Trayvon Martin kind of, they're talking about it. But where do you?
It is. Trayvon Martin was an angry black kid that had to be sent to his father because he lacked discipline, grew up in a home with his single mother. Any well-behaved kid with manners that had respect of adults, once George Zimmerman approached him, whether he's right or wrong, as a child, this is an adult. You get off the phone with that fat-ass girlfriend you trying to fuck, you call your dad and say, hey, Dad, it's an adult around here that just stopped me. He says he's calling the police. Rather than doing that, he had an attitude because as young black males in this country, we have an authority problem because we walking around angry, displaced from our father's issues, but we resent our mothers.
That's true.
So we're a ticking time bomb. And Trayvon Martin could fight. So that's why I say you be careful approaching some of these young kids. What a 13-year-old will kick a 40-year-old's ass.
That's true.
And that's what happened in that situation. He underestimated this kid, and he was looking for trouble. But by law, he was right.
For him to say that George Zimmerman had the right to approach Trayvon Martin, put his hands on him, and then shoot him because Trayvon got the best of him is flipping crazy. Okay? Complete and utter craziness. First of all, if George Zimmerman would have just listened to the police when they said, do not approach, Trayvon Martin would still be alive. He will be an adult. Okay? Now, when you hear foolishness like this, you start to say to yourself, like, wait a minute, where he's getting at? Where he's getting at? And then we don't know where he's getting at because he'll just continue saying craziness. Now, for me, if some adult comes up to me, I'm going to haul ass because this person could be a dang on rapist. We don't know, okay? We do not know. But for him to say that George Zimmerman had the right to approach him and do what he did is crazy. Now, what if Trayvon Martin had a knife and juked George Zimmerman and he died? Would he be saying the same thing? I don't think so. Some of these black conservatives would say some wild stuff because they're getting paid for it. And hey, if that's how they make their coins, it is what it is.
Well, what do you think's going to happen in this Austin Metcalf thing? You think he's
Metcalf ass go, well, no, that boy going to jail.
Karmelo Anthony's going to go to jail.
Karmelo going to jail. Because listen, you cannot bring a weapon to school.
Yeah.
So you can't say I was
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense because if you are afraid the day before where you have to take a weapon to school, why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher that's bringing these kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values, you tell the teacher. Somebody fucking with you, you tell the teacher. Let the teachers know so when y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So words of documentation just say this is self-defense. It's a premeditated crime because you took a weapon in fear. Anticipating to use it.
That was premeditated, though.
And it said a track meet. You getting ready to run track with other kids and you got a knife on you. No, man, you got to go to jail.
Now, I will agree with Charleston because I feel that Karmelo Anthony will go to jail. But it's not because of first-degree murder. First-degree murder means that he planned it, he thought about it, he said, hey, I'm going to look for that one particular person and I'm going to kill that person. He never met Austin Metcalf in his life. So that is not premeditated murder and that's not first-degree murder. That would possibly fall in the lines of maybe third-degree murder or voluntary manslaughter. But it's going to take the state to prove that, and I don't think that they're going to prove it. I could be wrong, because it is Texas. I could be wrong, but also I could be right. So a lot of things that he said was not really accurate. But then again, like I said before, you're going to have a lot of liberals say craziness. You're going to have a lot of conservatives say craziness. And Charleston White is one of the people who would say some wild things and you'll be looking at him like he's crazy. But like I said, I agree that, he's possibly going to go to jail, but it's not going to be for first-degree murder. So if they don't put a lesser charge and they try to get that first-degree murder to stick, it might not stick on him. It might not stick on him because the state is going to have to prove that, number one, he knew the guy, he knew Austin Metcalf, and he went there with the knife looking for him and decided to attack him first. No, Austin Metcalf put his hands on Karmelo, and after putting his hands on Karmelo, he pulled out the knife. That is not premeditated, okay? Now you can probably say heat of passion maybe, but like I said, that would probably be more like third-degree murder or voluntary manslaughter because he did not have to kill him. He chose to do that, all right? So, but then again, like I said, it's going to take the state something crazy to prove that that's first-degree murder. But like I said, I could be wrong. I've seen crazier things.